Yes, ready to introduce next on my show. We have another emerging British female singer-songwriter. I'm introduced by Candy Rose on my show. It's a joy to have you on my show today.
Thank you, Danny. Thanks for having me on.
Great to have you on board. Now I know I was just chatting to you before the interview. I love your background there, but where are you actually in the world right now?
I'm in London. I'm a Londoner, so
Oh, okay,
yeah.
great.
Yes.
Capital, that's where it's at. And when did you first take an interest in, music and the performance arts?
Oh gosh, when did I first take an interest? That was when I was quite young. I've actually really enjoyed music, singing, writing songs. I used to kind of just make some songs with my brothers. Um, and obviously, as I got older, eventually I started doing it more seriously. So I think I actually started doing more serious music work, probably in 19, well, not tonight, 2009, I would say, was probably when I started doing a little bit more on that.
Great. And into the 2009, from that period on, did you do many shows like gigs?
Oh gosh, yes, I did the whole gig circuit back in the day. I did quite a few shows around London. I think there was one year I must have done maybe 20 or so gigs in the space of like 4 months. I think I had a gig like every other week. It was exhausting. And I used to gig, I think the last live show I did in London was in 2016. And that was actually there's a reason for that. Obviously, I just released Betrayal, I believe, or was it Now I'm Gone? And an hour before I went on stage, I found out my dad had passed away. So show went on, but after that, I didn't really do any shows after that, live shows, anyways, in the UK.
Okay. And just talked about your musical background there, where it got you today. And one of the reasons I invited you on the show, because you have released an infectious soft pop rock record called Transform. And please, can you just tell me and my listeners a little bit more info about this one?
So Transform actually took almost 10 years to write. It was one of those songs that just it needed to feel correct before I could release it. And I was actually transforming as I was writing the song. Um, and eventually I went through different phases of it. At one point it was actually going to be kind of like a punk rock song. But it didn't feel quite right. And I sort of played with different genres. And eventually I ended up where we are today. And I remember going into the studio. I was working with Sappho Studios in North London. And I started working with Matt on it. Matt's probably like the eighth person I've worked on this track with over the years. Because, like I said, I think I actually started working on this track back in the day with Pete Turtle from Turtle Studios. And back then, and Pete plays like all sorts of instruments. So you just end up doing a lot of jamming sessions with him and things just sort of flow. Um, but I kind of reached this stage in my career and my life, and what ended up coming out, what felt like the right song, is what we now have today. And I remember, like, actually, there's if you listen to the main version, there's a part where there's like a choir, and I kind of actually that got delayed so long because initially I wanted to use like a live choir to do that, but people just kept letting me down. And then I actually toyed with the idea of having children do that section, thinking it might give it a, remember, take that, never forget that sort of sound. And I thought, okay, maybe that might work. But again, that was also tricky to sort of get people together. And so I ended up having to do the entire choir myself with different layers of my voice recorded to do that section. And it turned out actually how I wanted it to turn out. So it worked out all right.
Great. Well, modern technology and multi-tracking, it's amazing what you can do in the studio. So
Indeed.
this song has been, well, not sitting on the shelf, but it's been like waiting to be released, and you got the final product out finally.
Yes, I'm very happy with it. And the Get Your Shades Out Club Mix version of it, I wanted that to be very fun and sort of I wanted to be something that people can listen to in any time of the year and just feel happy and get your sunglasses out and just sort of bop along.
I was about to say, because the single, as you said, has been given a club mix makeover. Did you feel doing that reaches a song out to more audiences and even DJs to play, on the weekend.
Yeah, but it's kind of like my signature thing. So pretty much every track that I release, there's always a B-side that's primarily for the gym bunnies and the club goers, because I feel like the main track is, music isn't cyclically like human. So there's a lot of feelings, there's a lot of history, there's a lot that goes into creating the song. But once you've done that, there should also be a certain part of it whenever possible, give people a chance to be happy with your work. And I think anything that kind of makes you feel, is great.
Yeah, and Transform definitely does that. Does make you happy? And like as you mentioned, it was being finally got it out after all this time. Transform as well. When I think of Transform, I think of like Chrysalis's, metamorphoses, changes. Do you think that kind of inspired the kind of what the song's about?
Yes, 100%. It's really about that change that we all go through. And it's really a song about the underdog as well. So, I think, like I said, I started writing the song about 10 years ago. And if you listen to the lyrics, the first line, you're the one that bullied me at school. And, now you're on the ground trying to make it out
Hmm.
that, that we're friendly. Um, and I think that a lot of people will relate to that, where you've had different experiences with people. You've had to grow. Sometimes I'll grow friends, sometimes I'll grow even family, and just come into your own element and actually just proving to yourself and the rest of the world that actually, yeah, I'm much stronger and I'm this person. You can have a front row seat and watch me actually become this better version of myself.
Mm. And as a British singer-songwriter artist as well, when you were writing this song and you wrote the music as well, were there any artists, whether they're signed or, independent, who have come from here, have been a big factor in inspiring and influencing your music?
Oh, British artist George Michael definitely has always been a huge influence in terms of, like, if you talk about British artists, for me that's top tier. And actually, songwriting and singing, we're going old school. Phil Collins, GOAT. I think he's one of the greatest. I think he's probably not as known as he should be by the current trends, but people really should look at his work. And obviously, I was working with Sappho, the studio. So they've had artists. They from Sappho Studios. You've had artists like Sam Smith and some of the greatest bands we've also had in the UK. So it felt like a really good place to develop my song.
And what do you think about the new music out at the moment? There's so many, talented artists, coming out of the woodwork out of nowhere.
I mean, I think it's great. I think that as long as we're having people expressing themselves, creating music and interacting with music, and if you're experiencing and expressing yourself through your art, that can only be a good thing. If people are able to connect with you through your music, or if your music helps them to get through a bad time, that's really what we like, right? Um, I know that there's been a lot of talk about AI artists and things like that, but I'm pretty much pro human artist. I think I'm pro AI as well, but not as replacement for humans. So I'm always a big fan of people who create music.
Mm.
And yeah, it's just good to
Yeah,
connect through
like
music.
originality, nothing will override that. Well, at this moment in time, anyway.
Exactly. And I think that's what really, I mean, if you think about some of the greatest songs you've ever heard, a lot of them are linked to people's experiences, their lived experiences, their emotions. And that's not something that can be
Mm.
replicated with AI, I
Yeah,
don't think.
true. Like people like that connection, the physical connection, anyway.
Yeah.
That's great. Also, like being a singer-songwriter, you get a chance to do like cover shots and make music videos and lots of other things that come along with it. With Transform as well, I like the promo shot of you. On the cover, it was very effective. Where did that idea stem from?
So the actual picture, I had a photo shoot in Rome last year. I did a couple of shoots, and I knew that I was probably going to end up using one of the pictures that I took last year, either in Rome or in Seoul, for this cover. And that particular picture was taken at a time when I was actually not even supposed to be aware of it. It was just taken. I was kind of reflective, and it just kind of came out. And then, of course, I have my beautiful team, Fidelci and Fiseo, who basically worked on helping me to create the graphics around it that really captured, because I was trying to explain what I wanted it to look like. And, it's almost like having that butterfly effect without the butterfly, if you like. And they captured it 1000%. So I was very happy with it.
Lovely. And I just wanted to touch on a couple of your other previous singles as well. Let's go with I Love and Adore You. I hope that's one of yours. I
Yes.
have had a listen to it. It has a strong, bass line beat, kind of with a hip hop hook as well. And is this one a fan's favorite?
I think that when I look at sometimes when I look at my stats, "I Love and Adore You" seems to be quite popular, and I think it has something to do with there's a version of it that I had Cyrus Malachi on it, and he's this really amazing, like very deep voice rap artist, underground UK artist, and it was just amazing working with him. And he added something to the song when he put that in, but I remember when I was writing that, it was just one of those moments, you're kind of thinking and you're having a wonderful sort of feeling about the person that you're with. And of course there's always a B-side. The B-side of that was done by Club Jumpers. I've been working with them for many years. They're like multi-Grammy winning DJ producers. So yeah, that was good fun. I remember
Yeah.
making that.
Do you enjoy collaborating with like other artists?
I do enjoy collaborating with other artists. I think that there's something about connecting with other musicians, because it can be a very sort of lonely journey sometimes, because you're very sort of creative in your own way. And when you work with other artists and the work works and it's just this good chemistry, it's kind of magic.
And in my heart, in my life as well, that's been gaining, momentum on the streaming platforms as well, hitting over thousands of listens. That must be a rewarding feeling. Just tell me briefly what that song entails, what it's about.
In my heart, in my life, again, that's another song I think I went through, and I'm still in this little bubble. I'm in a really great relationship with my partner, so it kind of inspires a lot of as my my friends would call it, lovey-dovey songs. And so I kind of wrote that, and I think the with that, I actually remember doing the remix for that, and I had a lot of fun doing the remix, because I had to push my vocals a different way that I hadn't done in other tracks. Um, but I really enjoyed making that, and it's always rewarding, especially when you're an independent artist. If you have even one listener, is just so rewarding, because it's like it's a validation that, okay, I'm making something that somebody out there actually enjoys listening to. So thank you.
Yeah, that's a good outlook to have. And looking at the outlook for 2026, are you still going back in the recording studio? Any gigs coming
Yes.
up or festivals?
Oh, yes, I will be back in the studio. I'm actually going to be shooting the video for Transform on the 5th of March. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a recording session. We're trying to organize the dates. I'm hoping to have one of my friends. He used to be the lead guitarist for Hopeless Heroics, a UK band, back in the day. I'm hoping to do some work with him, Grant, in the studio in the coming weeks. Festivals, maybe not this year, but potentially
Yeah.
next year.
Well, it
Yeah.
seems like you've got enough, to look forward to, and for the listener to, to look forward to new releases and new music as well.
Yes.
Yeah, do you have a website, social media? Are you active on there?
Definitely active on social media. So all my social handles are usually I Candy Rose, the letter I, and then Candy Rose is one word. So IG at I Candy Rose, everything / I Candy Rose is usually me. So do connect. I do respond. I do respond when people write. Um, and yeah, I think the best way to kind of connect with me is through social media. I do have a website, but I have to admit I don't check it often. So.
Hmm. It's amazing. Like a lot of artists now, they use Instagram over websites now.
Yeah, it's like it feels like you have to have a website, you need to have a presence. But I'm building this, I'm building the music platform at the moment, so hopefully in the
Yeah.
future I'll be sending people there and I'll be talking about that in the future as well, a little bit more.
Yeah, because some people don't understand and the mechanics of being an independent artist. A lot of time and effort has to go into these things as well. It can be a bit,
Yes.
challenging.
Yes, I think the most important thing for me is just finding ways to connect with the fans. And obviously, I could sort of see, I feel personally that the current platforms that we have don't really support independent artists the way that it could.
Mhm.
And obviously, having had my background in the corporate world and the financial services and tech world, I kind of decided, you know what, I think I can fix this. So I'm building something to fix it. And hopefully that's where my fellow independent artists will be in the future.
Great. And I just want to say thank you for joining me on today's show. Um,
Thank you so
and
much
I
for
just
having me.
wanted to wrap up the interview with a few quick fire questions, nothing to on the spot,
Okay.
but yeah, the fun questions. So, like, did you have like a favorite movie growing up at all?
Um, believe believe it or not, I did, and it's not something that anybody has probably heard of. A lot of people don't know about it. Um, but it's called Oscar, and it's got Sylvester Stallone and Mia Tomei, I think, as the lead characters. And I think at one point I found out that Danny DeVito was supposed to play the role that Sylvester Stallone played, but that used to be my favorite film.
All right. And do you have a favorite candy as well?
Oh, hmm. Okay, anything with hazelnut inside it is probably going to be a win. Chocolate hazelnut is always going to be a win.
Good answer. Do Costa do their own version around the festive period, their own like hazelnut kind of hot chocolates? I think I've tasted that before. Very nice.
Oh, okay, something to look forward
And
to.
final question, spring or autumn?
Oh, they're both my favorite. Um, they're both my favorite. I do like both of them equally, I have to
That's
admit.
fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Candy Rose, thanks for joining me on today's show. Best of luck with your new single as well. And it's been a
Thank
pleasure
you so
interviewing
much.
you and just finding out a bit more about, your music and yourself as well. Candy Rose on today's show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks,
Lovely.
Danny.